From the New York City area, welcome to the Badass Counseling Show, where the master badass himself, Sven Erlandson, takes you deep and gives balm for the soul, baby.
Oh, yeah, I'm loving it. It is a beautiful, great day to be alive. Great day to be alive. It's good to have you here tuning in to the Badass Counseling Show. I'm your host, Sven Erlandson. For better or for worse, folks, you are stuck with me. Whether you are tuning in from Singapore or the Susquehanna River Valley, from the Cascades to the Carolinas, from the great state of Texas to every other place that starts with T. And after you've been to Texas, all those other places just aren't quite as good. And I am a pro-Texas guy, even though I'm a far northerner of Minnesota, but I love Texas. Anyway, if you are tuning into the show, I am Sven Erlandson. It's great to have you here. I'm joined by my elite crew of KC over in the booth and Rob the Rocket, who's giggling at the notion of the word elite. Rob, speak.
I'm elite. Yeah, I hear that all the time. I'm just an elite kind of guy.
And just for those of you who may have not heard me say it before, I'm not joking when I say that. Rob started in radio back in the 60s when he was a engineering student at RPI up in New York. And then when he was always into radio and so forth, even when he was getting his master's at UNC, went on to be senior vice president at Paramount Pictures and other president, vice president type-ish roles in the entertainment industry. So when I say elite, I mean it literally, folks. Best of the best right here by my side every show, and we are blessed to have him because, trust me, folks, no Rob, no show.
All right, that resume is not because I'm looking for work. This is plenty for me.
He's retired.
More than enough.
He is retired. And quite interestingly, we've got KC normally in the booth, and I said she was in the booth temporarily because I knew that there was a chance she would be checking in, and it turns out, folks, she is checking in. KC, are you there? What say ye?
I am here, and I am sorry that I'm late.
Hey, it's all right. We always love having you here. KC, when you are at a microphone, we consider that a super duper blessing. We look at your faces and your strange hand movements when you're in the booth. The things you say to us without ever saying a word. Yes. So we're always lucky to have you at a microphone. But we have work to do here.
To be here.
Well, it's great to have you here.
I like when she waves and uses all 5 fingers.
Exactly.
Instead of one?
Yeah. All right. So, Rob, go ahead and tell us about Annalisa.
All right then, Sven. Annalisa wrote in, and the subject line said relationship/control. And the message was, my son has given me an ultimatum. I must end my relationship with my boyfriend or I will not be allowed to see my grandson. I have decided to prioritize my grandson, but I am struggling with the feeling that I am being controlled.
Hello, Annalisa.
Hi.
It's great to have you on the show. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You betcha. Okay, let's just... Folks, first of all, that is one of the shortest paragraphs we've ever had anyone write into the show. And I tell you, when you've got a story like that, there really isn't much more you need to say. So in a way, her pith was quite appropriate. I have to ask, right out of the gate, what is the reason that your son is giving for not wanting you in a relationship with your boyfriend if you wish to see your grandson?
He doesn't like him. I mean, I've had a past with him, so I think it's because he doesn't want to see me get hurt again, but I also feel like it's control as well. Like, I don't know.
It's absolutely control. There's no question about the fact that it's control. What I was and thank you for that answer. He doesn't like him. Okay. And you have a past with him. And just so we are all clear, and so that I'm able to actually have, accurate points of reference here. When you say you have a past with him, what does that mean?
I dated him before, and then we broke off the relationship for like 3.5 years.
But having a past with somebody, that hardly seems to constitute reason for cutting off your mother if you date someone. what happened either in the dating or in the breakup that in the eyes of your son was so egregious that he doesn't want you anywhere near this man, to the point where he is leveraging his child to keep you away from this man? What was done, or what was interpreted by your son as being done? What happened? This just seems quite drastic for a breakup of 3 years, for a relationship and a breakup for 3 years. And first of all, how long did you guys date?
About 10 years before that.
For 10 years. It lasted 10 years. And then you were apart for 3 years. And out of curiosity, how old is your son?
He is 34.
34. All right. So if you back it up, then he was roughly 21 when you started dating this gentleman. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you presumably have your son, well, I was going to say by your son's father. Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. That's Sven logic right there. Yes. And,
it is by his father.
Okay. By his father. Good. We've established that. Okay. Good. He is a product of his own father. Okay. And how long had you and his father been apart prior to this gentleman walking into your life?
Probably 3 or 4 years. I can't exactly remember.
I understand. My own memory goes. So I understand that. So roughly your son was late teens, 17, 18, 19, somewhere in there, probably 17, 18, it sounds like, prior to the divorce happened when he was 17 or 18. And at 21 then, this new gentleman walks into his life for the next 10 years and then apart for 3 years. Okay, now the meat. What the hell happened, or was perceived as happening during those 10 years, either to you or to him during the 10 years and the 3 years afterwards, that is so egregious that your son wants you nowhere near this man?
He says that he read all the texts that he sent to me and he didn't like the texts. I mean, when I was in a relationship with him before, he also was pretty controlling. Like he was and very jealous. Like if I went anywheres and I came back, he would say, "Yeah, right, that's where you were." And that's what ultimately I broke it off with him back then, because it just continued and didn't stop. And I just didn't like the feeling that I couldn't do anything.
Okay. So he was controlling and he was jealous. And so that is not just your son's interpretation. That is your own reckoning of the story. In fact, it was so bad, I broke it off with him because it was so jealous and so controlling that I broke it off. I can't handle this. This is too much. Do I have the story correct? Oh, accurately?
Yeah.
Okay. And you say you feel like you are being controlled. Well, in the past, as I've already sort of played my hand here, but in the past, when you felt you were being controlled by your ex, that feeling, now looking back, was that feeling accurate?
Yes.
Yes. So if you are feeling controlled now, it's probably not a bad assumption. You know, it's something to work on.
I mean, I'm not feeling controlled by my ex.
No. By your son. I'm just talking about the feeling of feeling controlled that you felt it once before, at least once before, in this case with the ex. And you were right. Looking back, you know, with sort of age comes wisdom, hopefully. And now, so then it's reasonable to assume that there's probably some accuracy in that notion that you're being controlled now, which you are. Your son is attempting to leverage his child to keep you away from this man. I have to ask one sort of specific question. Has your son indicated at all that he fears for the safety of his own son around this man?
No, he just said he's never going to be around his son.
But he hasn't given any indication why?
No.
So, okay, so he has not said, because clearly, if he's that controlling and is so willing to create the son as leverage, he would have said, "I don't trust that guy around my kid," or "He's scary. I don't trust him. I got to protect my son." He would have said it if that was his reason. But he
Right.
didn't. Okay.
No.
So it's not that he fears for the child's safety. We've established that. So this is strictly about, well, what's interesting is two things, it seems. On one hand, you say it's about, he doesn't like how you were treated. He's sort of looking out for mom. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Right. But that wasn't the first thing that came out of your mouth. When I asked you, what is your son's reason? When I asked you why, right at the very beginning, first words out of your mouth, direct quote, he doesn't like him. It's interesting. So and there can be a number of reasons for not liking someone, but isn't it interesting that it's almost like this is, it's personal for him. It's more than just, gee, you're being bad to my mom. I don't like you. Then what's really fascinating from where I'm sitting is you went on to describe your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, in the exact same word that you used to describe your son, controlling. Right. It's almost like they are fighting for control of you.
Yeah.
And to some degree, your son has sort of the trump card. He has the ultimate leverage because, hey, I have my grandson. Do you want to get your grandson? Got to walk away from that guy. Not because I fear for my son that I'm going to keep you away from him. I want to make you do what I want you to do. So the very thing that he is raging against with regard to this boyfriend, him controlling you, is precisely the same thing that he is doing.
Yes.
All right. So now I got to ask. And so you've mentioned you feel controlled. You have the feeling that I'm being controlled. What else are you feeling as you think about this whole thing and as you sit in the middle of this whole thing? What other feelings come up? Feeling words.
I'm sad. I'm hurt. I guess I don't know if I'm making the right decisions all the time.
I'm sad. I'm hurt. What is the saddest part?
That he would just tell me I couldn't see my grandson,
And so is it, but yes, understood. But what is it about him saying that? Is that I wouldn't get to see my grandson, or is the saddest part I now don't get to see the man that I want to be with? I mean, what is
that I don't get to see my grandson?
That you wouldn't if you didn't do what your son wants. Gotcha. So then let me ask you this. It's a strange question, and it's an honest question. I mean, no harm in asking this question. And you don't even have to answer it if you don't want to, okay? What is it for you? What do you think it is that you have two men in your life that are controlling you or have controlled you? What is there any measure of comfort for you? And it's a dumb question, but it's an honest question, okay? I swear to God, I'm just asking an honest question. Is there some measure of comfort of being controlled? Do you hate it? Do you like it somewhat? What's going on for you in this?
I don't like it at all.
And what's the part you most hate about it, dislike about it?
Well, I feel like I'm pretty independent, but I feel like that people are always trying to tell me what to do, and why can't I make my own decisions?
And why can't I make my own decisions? And the truth is, you can. And the truth is, you did. You made your own decision. Right. Yep. Given the circumstances, you made your own decision. However, what you don't like is that someone feels like they can control you. What's the nature of your relationship with your son, other than this decision?
I feel like we're pretty close, but I feel like since his dad and I split up, I feel like he thinks he needs to be the man of the house, and I think he tries to tell us all what to do.
And by us all, who else are we talking about?
He has a brother and a sister.
And presumably this son of yours is the oldest?
Yes.
Got it. And do his siblings do what he says?
Not all the time, but I think we all, because he gets so confrontational, I think we all try to avoid confrontational situations with him.
He's so, okay. So if I'm hearing you correctly, then there is a power imbalance in each of the relationships. He has the power and everyone else sort of is lower, has lesser power. And if anybody stands up for themselves, he escalates further,
Yes.
using whatever mechanisms he can to get you back down into your place, to get his boot sort of back on your throat. Wow.
Yes.
Okay, step me through then. And I'm going to bring in KC here in a minute because I really want to get her input. Rob, too, if he has some input. But I want to ask you, what went into your decision for you? Talk to me about what it was like to make that decision and how you came to the decision to walk away from this man you wanted. And before you do that, though, answer this question. Why did you want to go back to him? If it was so bad before, why did you want to go back? I'm not saying it's a bad decision, but you got to admit, it's pretty interesting. So go ahead and fill me in on that one.
He wanted to go to counseling, so I thought we could at least go to counseling. I mean, he does have really good, sweet qualities about him, too.
Okay. And so then what was it? So he said he was going to go into counseling. Did you guys actually go into counseling?
Yes, we did go to counseling. We went to couples counseling. And so we went to couple counseling. It was going pretty good. I mean, there was one trigger that I had when I went to a ball game with him, and we didn't drive together, but we got there at the same time and parked next to each other. And then after the game, I started talking to a friend of mine I hadn't seen in a while, and he just automatically left and told his nephew, because it was with his nephew, that he wasn't waiting around for me, and then he left. But then after I got to my car, I mean, I talked to other people because he had left. He said he started texting me, giving me a hard time about where I was, what was I doing, and then we got into some texting arguments, and he did say to me, from now on, we go to the game together, we sit together, and we leave together. And I was like, hell no. That is not happening, and I will end this relationship right now.
And we did talk
about it.
Yeah.
We did talk about it at counseling. I felt like probably because we went to his counselor for counseling, I felt like she was a little biased, and she kind of told me that was a trigger for me from the past relationship.
Oh, wait a minute. Whoa. Go ahead. Finish your story. I got to hear this.
And so I didn't go back to counseling with her after, because I just felt like it was kind of one-sided. I get it's a trigger for me, but it's also a trigger that I'm not willing to live with.
Well, no shit. Are you saying she did not call him out on that action? That wasn't there wasn't the least bit him being an absolute bitch?
She just told him that he needed to, just think back to triggers too, and that he shouldn't be doing that. But she didn't. I felt like she didn't focus on him. She focused more on me and the trigger that I was experiencing.
Sure. Just out of curiosity, who was paying the bill for that therapist? You or him?
We were splitting the bill.
Oh, wow. So what that tells me, and this is not uncommon in therapy, that she was more afraid of him than she was of you. And the fact that she actually potentially brought her own fears into the counseling situation, because, I mean, come on. Come on. He's saying, unless you're holding back some piece of information right now, the fact that he's saying that shit, we will go together, we will leave you. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, I absolutely will not do that.
No, I mean,
and
that's
he knows
ridiculous.
that. And I feel like he is so madly in love with me that he'll back down, but he does still try to do that stuff. No, and I'm not okay with it.
Well, yeah. And it's important that you understand that first of all, I don't doubt that he loves you. I'm not saying that I doubt that. However, a lot of times someone will go to great length to secure a love source, pouring love into their love cup. That it's not just the person themselves. It's just that if I have this person whom I can control their love, and they're constantly giving all their love to me, it's all about me. If I can control that and secure that and make that permanent and stable, then I have constant love flowing into me. And I feel, people control things and others, because they have so much anxiety and fear inside of themselves. And he fears what happens when you walk away. And what happens when you walk away is those feelings inside of him, those voices inside of him saying, see, I suck. See, I'm not good enough. See, I'm unlovable. See, and so he will go to great lengths to secure that. And what's interesting is your son's fundamentally doing the exact same thing, that if people aren't doing what I say, I feel out of control. I feel afraid inside. I feel unstable inside. And so I need to control people. So you have fundamentally gone from the frying pan into the fire, from one control person who wants to control you into the other. And you come to the show, and yet you don't state a question or what you want from us in coming onto the show. So we're going to find out what that is right after this short break.
So I was telling a buddy of mine how he seems happier. He told me about the book that changed his life. So I bit. I went to the Badass Counseling website and downloaded There's a Hole in My Love Cup audiobook. I started listening to it on my commute home from work, and holy cow, it was a Louisville slugger to the face. I literally sat in my car in the driveway night after night, listening through to the end of a chapter or doing the journaling exercises. My wife started to see changes. I started to change a lot. My default response stopped always being anger. Now I manage a team of salespeople, and I changed as a leader. I was listening more, not always just reacting. When their numbers started going up seemingly out of nowhere, I knew what the reason was. There's a Hole in My Love Cup is now required listening for any person on my sales team or working for me, and I gladly buy it for them. You gotta listen to this book.
This show provides soul counseling intended to entertain and inform and is not medical advice. Now, back to the badass.
And we are back with Annalisa. And right. Just out of curiosity, I want to know the answer to that question. What precisely do you want from us today? What's the question you're trying to answer, or the solution you're trying to find a solution you're trying to find?
I guess I'm trying to find a solution on how to deal with people that try to control me. Like, I feel like I want to be able to talk to my son. I don't even want to start a conversation with him about it because it's just so confrontational.
And is the reason, well, wait a minute, is the reason you want to have a conversation with your son to try to get him to back down and relent and let you have a relationship with your boyfriend while also having a relationship with your grandson? Is that the reason? Or is it that you're wanting to sort of solve the bigger issue of his controlling you?
Solve the bigger issue of him controlling me.
Okay. The only way that is going to happen is by answering a couple of questions first. Could you ever live without a relationship with your grandson and without a relationship with your son? I'm not saying you have to.
I don't want to.
Understood. And I would never ask you to do that or push you to do that. I'm just asking a question. If you could not have a relationship with your son and your grandson, then what?
I mean, life would go on, but it wouldn't make me feel good.
Right. But the truth is you don't feel good right now because your son has leveraged his own son to keep you away from a man that sounds like you're still figuring out if you even want to be with. Right. Well, you've actually made your decision. I'm not going to be with him. I made
my decision. I'm not, but yeah.
But the point is still there. You weren't even sure because he was still being a dick. In other words, he hadn't fully changed. But the issue is you want to change him being confrontational and controlling. And until you are willing, fundamentally, he's not going to change. He has all the power. He is not going to willingly give up that power that he has over you, over his sibling, over his brother, and over his sister. He's not. Mm-hmm. He's not. And so at some point, what often happens, and let me ask you this. Have you attempted to try to talk to him about this in the past? Not about the grandson and boyfriend thing, but just about him being confrontational and wanting a non-confrontational thing and wanting him to stop controlling you. Have you ever attempted to talk about this in the past?
Not really.
Oh, okay. Well, that is a surprise.
Because not really. I just feel like he's always right. And I feel like if I started a conversation with him, he would still just get angry, you know what I mean? And just not be nice in the conversation.
And just so we're clear, when you say he's always right, do you mean he literally is always right, or he?
No, he thinks he's always right.
Okay, just wanted clarification there. Okay,
Yes.
The fact of the matter is, at the very least, while you may fear he would do that, until you actually put it out there and say this relationship has to change. And this isn't about the grandson boyfriend thing. This confrontational, controlling stuff has to stop. Because in truth, if you've never had, but I'm not doubting you. I don't doubt that he would respond that way. I don't doubt that for a second. However, in the interest of clarity, until you try and say to him, this doesn't work for me anymore. You're not my father. You're not my husband. I am a grown ass woman. Well, you made these mistakes, blah, 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 and you do, and you need to. He no doubt would grow angry, but then you would have definitive proof. However, if you don't want to have that conversation with him, then the only way this changes is you simply making the decisions you want to fucking make in life, damn the cost.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, you just stop letting him. But what that means, in order for you to do that, is you have to go inside of yourself and begin to really look at, journal about, talk with your therapist about in depth, not just talk about what happened this week, but to go in and talk about your fears and where those fears are coming from. Because very often, someone who is in repeated controlling relationships is someone who is conditioned to believe that their voice doesn't matter. Someone who is conditioned to believe that who I am, I should be lucky to have someone. I don't have worth. I should be lucky to have this someone, and I'm going to do whatever you want or let you control me. Just don't leave me. Now, does that feel completely off, or is there potentially some truth in that for you?
It's correct. And I mean, I did get your book and I started to do some of the journaling stuff. I feel like I don't remember a lot from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember some really bad things that I feel are bad, might not be bad to other people, but I feel like I'm missing something and I can't dig it up.
And that's okay. And it sounds like I started the book and so forth, but the thing is we have to persist. Let me ask you this. And the fact that you only remember certain things, that's huge. That's actually better than you may realize. You start with what you do know. And if there's more there, just trust that'll come when it comes, if there is. But you start by getting out. Let me ask you this. For you, in going into the stuff that my book, There's a Hole in My Love Cup, takes you into, as you were reading the book, was there fear that was coming up inside of you?
I don't know. I think just anxiousness of not remembering.
Mm-hmm. And so if I don't remember, why would you be afraid of that? Help me understand.
Because I feel like if I can't remember, how is it going to help me grow and get better?
True. Good point. Good point. And so then let me ask you this. So why not continue the process and see?
Yeah.
No, and I'm not scolding. I'm not trying to sell you to do it. No, I want you to take me through.
No, I agree.
Understood. But I want you to take me through the logic. Okay, I'm not scolding. I'm not trying to push you to do it. I just want to understand what the logic is. It sounds like what you're saying, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong, okay? That what's the point of even trying to do this? Because if it doesn't work, God, then what? I mean, why stop if you're not sure if it's going to work?
I don't know. I guess just taking the time to do it, and I just need to motivate myself. Understood.
Is it possible that there is some fear in there?
Yeah.
And what might the fear be? If it doesn't work, then what? What's the fear?
I'm not sure what the fear
Speculate.
is.
Take a shot at it. You can change your mind in 2 minutes if you want.
I don't really know.
Just play around with it. Just take a wild guess. If it didn't work, why would that be such a scary proposition if it didn't work?
Because then I'm not getting where I need to be with my life and getting better.
So you do know.
Yeah.
And why is the idea of not getting where I want to be so scary? Because that means what?
I'm going to be the same person.
And why does that scare you so much? I guess what I mean.
Because I feel like I'm just not happy.
And there your voice is cracking.
Yeah.
What are you feeling right now?
Just, I guess, sad, anxious.
What's the saddest part about not getting where you want to be and I'm just not happy? What's the saddest part about your life and not being happy?
I guess I'm getting older and I'm just haven't reached that happy point.
Understood. How old are you, Annalisa?
61.
61. Fair enough. KC, can I bring you into this conversation here? Any thoughts here?
Yeah, oh my God, so many. First of all, and I'm so sorry that you're going through this. You are making, whether you realize it or not, you're not being triggered. People are calling it triggers, but it's just your instinct. You're in a situation with a controlling person, and your instinct tells you this is wrong. This person shouldn't be treating me like this. This person shouldn't be controlling me. The fact that your therapist called that a trigger tells me that you were with the wrong therapist for sure, and your boyfriend is with the wrong therapist. That is not about you. Him trying to over control you or control your life is about him. You not allowing that control to happen is about you having amazingly good instincts. It's
And
not
and
about
and KC, in that case, I would even could we even say, KC, it's not even instincts, it's just so obvious. It's just plain
Yeah.
identification of a behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is a bad situation. This is not a trigger. A trigger is something like something covertly is happening and that makes you feel a certain way that you shouldn't have to feel. Like it's something that could even be a good instance. It could be a party happening and that party reminds you of a fact that you were date raped at a party. That's a trigger.
Right. Or every time
Some
mom and dad at a party, they would get drunk afterwards and they'd be screaming in the house and they'd
And
come
so
up
now
and
when you go to a
spank you.
party, you get a trigger.
Right.
That's a trigger.
Right.
Somebody trying to control you physically, emotionally, and you saying no, that's not a trigger. That's not about a fault or something happening wrong in you. That's about your good instincts kicking in and saying to you, lady, let's get the hell out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And so please don't look at that as some kind of fault in you because it's not.
Right.
It's a good instinct. And everything that you've said tonight on this phone call tells me that you have good instincts.
KC, on the issue that she was just talking about her own not having happiness and being 61.
I definitely want to talk to her about that. So I just want to finish my thought there, and that is that you're having a confidence crisis right now. You're having a lack of confidence with yourself, and you're going to change that. I believe that you can change that. Because you have a lot to be confident about. Let's just start with the fact that I know you have good instincts. You're taking yourself out of bad situations that maybe were okay with you before that are not okay with you now. And that's growth. You're growing emotionally. You know, we never stop learning at any age. Back to being 61 and not being happy. I am 62 now. And I was actually just telling Sven and Rob before the show started that I'm sort of having a little crisis. And I know in midlife, they call it a midlife crisis, but I don't know, you know, in our 50s and 60s, is it called some other kind of crisis? Because I feel like I'm at sort of the same spot that you're talking about right now, which I think is just an age thing. And it's like, you know, I'm not really happy with where I am right now. I feel the loss of things that were in my past. I can sort of see the finish line up ahead because I'm at that age where it's creeping in and getting closer. And those thoughts can sometimes be depressing, and they can make us sad and feel like we should have maybe achieved something that we didn't. And so I empathize with you in those thoughts, and maybe Sven has some solution for them. I'm still trying to find one for myself, trying to discern what I don't want in my life right now, and some of the things that I know that I need to add to my life. And some of them are small, like I remember when I first got introduced to Sven's work, he would talk about little things that made him happy, like a newspaper or a latte, or just going to a coffee shop and sitting down and talking to people and just having your cup of coffee. Whatever those little things are that make you happy, maybe start there and stop putting so much pressure on yourself for having not achieved or achieved something. I just want to say one last thing about the thing that you're going through with your son, and that is that I kind of agree with Sven that sometimes you have to walk away from a relationship or a situation, or at least be willing to, before that other person is going to change. So I would say if you want to have a conversation with your son, but you're afraid he's going to be volatile, maybe you get your own counselor and then bring your son in to that counseling session and talk to him there. So at least you'll feel like you have the emotional protection of somebody in the room. And then if you can't get him to stop acting that way, you might have to make the decision to walk away from the relationship.
Does your son attempt to control you in other aspects of your relationship?
Kind of, but not really. I feel like he just always wants me there, and I've always been there. And maybe I need to stop doing that.
When you say always wants me there, what does that mean?
Well, like if he needs me to come to his house and watch his dogs, you know what I mean? I've always done whatever he needs me to do.
That sounds like control to me. In other words, his being happy with you, his showing love is contingent upon you doing what he wants. Let me ask you this.
Right.
If he said, Mom, I need you to come watch my dogs on Wednesday from 4 until 8 p.m. and then again on Friday, 9 a.m. until 1. And you said, I can't do it. Sorry, sweetheart. His response would be what?
I'm not exactly sure, but I'm sure he'll say, well, we've made plans. Wait
a minute. You stated definitively that if I ever brought up a conversation with my son that I don't like his controlling nature and this confrontation shit has got to go, I know exactly how he'd respond. That was your response. And now I bring up the idea, and you say you're close. You know him as well as anybody in the entire fucking world. You say to me that if, I ask you if you couldn't be there for his dogs, you're like, well, I don't really know. Come on.
He would be upset. He would say he had plans and that I ruined it, and I'm sure he would.
Okay, right. You are sure he would. Just out of curiosity, why did you, if you're sure of it, why did you not say that the first time? Why the first time when I asked you that? And I'm not scolding, but I am curious. Why the first time when I asked you that, did you say, well, gosh, I don't really know. Why did you say that?
I'm not sure.
Speculate. What do you think the reason was?
Probably because I try to cover up for him.
That's it. Is it because you don't want him to look bad?
I don't.
Right.
But I don't like it.
And
I mean, he's my son. He's my son. I feel like the way he acts is a representation of me as his mom.
Oh, so if he acts like a fucking shithead and people know he's acting like a fucking controlling shithead, then that makes me feel like a bad mom. So the way I can keep him from looking like a shithead, and therefore keep me from looking like a bad mom, is to just do everything he wants.
Yep. Not okay, but that's the way.
That's the way your belief system works. That I need him to look good in order for me to feel good as a mom. Yeah. Am I hearing you correctly? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yeah.
Right. So he has complete power over you because he controls your identity, your own sense of self. Let me ask you this. Do your 2 other children believe that you are a good mom?
Yes, they do.
Does
They
your
tell me all the time.
Okay. Do you believe that you are a good mom and have been a good mom for 34 years?
Yes, I believe I am. I just feel like maybe I should have guided my oldest early on when he was younger so that he doesn't act the way he does now.
Well, I tell you what, you know, you've been around the game of parenting as long as I have. My oldest is 34. You and I both know that we don't we don't do everything right in parenting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So give yourself a little bit of grace there, Ma. All right. But we're talking about something different. What we're talking about is you have so much of your identity, by your own admission, your own feeling good as a mom, stitched up in how he comes off. And I don't want him to look bad. No, we all want people to like our kids.
Mm-hmm.
But here you are on a show where we're trying to talk about the truth. And you're covering up for him, which, and again, I'm not scolding you. But that indicates a pattern that I'm trying to protect my son from looking bad so that I don't feel bad as a mom. What would it look like if some people didn't like your son? And what would it look like if some people in this world thought you were a bad mom? Would your life go on?
Yes, it would.
What's your biggest fear in all of this? Is it people thinking you're a bad mom? Is it people not liking your son? What's the fear?
I think both.
Which is bigger?
People not liking my son.
Right. But it sounds like a lot of people already don't.
Yep.
Including the people, most particularly the people who know him best. You, his sister, and his brother. And I'm sure they love him. I don't doubt that you all love him.
Yep.
Right. And the truth is, everybody's afraid to stand up to him. Where's his father in his life?
He associates with his father. I mean, he sees his father.
I see.
They all see their father, but he's just never been as active as I have been. So, I mean, he gets all the fun times. Like, I feel like every time they're with their dad, it's the fun times. So they have a pretty good relationship with him, and he doesn't have the responsibility that I have to take care of them or go and take care of their dogs. He's never gone to take care of their dogs.
Fair. But the simple truth of the matter is your son is now 34 and you do not have the responsibility to take care of him or take care of his dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You don't. So if you are doing it now, it is your choice, but you are terrified to say no. Let me ask you this. What percent do you fear? Give me a percent. 25%, 17%, 83.3%. Give me a percent, please, that you fear your son not liking you.
Probably 80.
And if
80%.
80%, excellent. And if that 80% weren't quite accurate, if there were a more accurate number, and maybe there isn't, but if there were a more accurate number, what would that number be?
Probably 100%. I mean, it would bother me if he didn't like me, you know?
Say that again? It wouldn't bother me what?
It would bother me if he didn't like me, you know?
Right. And this is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
What percent do you fear when, or at least when you were in your relationship with your ex-boyfriend of 10 years, what percent did you fear him not liking you?
None.
Bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. You didn't fear when you were in the relationship for 10 years. I'm not talking about now.
Oh, when I was in the relationship?
Yeah, that's why I said that. I'm teasing you.
Probably
Yes.
80%.
80%.
Yeah.
And if that number weren't quite accurate, would there be a more accurate number? 71%, 14%, 83%? No? Okay, 80%.
I think 80%. Yeah.
All right. So it would be a reasonable statement to say that you have a significant fear of not being liked.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, 100% and 80%, that's pretty significant. Do you believe that deep down your children love you?
Yes.
Do you believe they love you even when they are mad at you?
Yes.
Okay. So then, even if they don't like you at times or like what you're doing, or if they don't like that you're not doing what they say you should, that deep down they still love you. Do you believe that?
Yes.
Right.
He's just more stubborn, my oldest, and I feel like he would cut off a relationship.
Oh, sure
if
he
didn't
would.
like
Do you know
me.
why he's more stubborn? I can tell you exactly why he is so stubborn. Because it works. He wins every time. All he has to do is exercise some greater leverage of power, and everybody backs down. And that's why everybody thinks he's a fucking dick. Because everybody's afraid to stand up to him. Nobody wants to lose the relationship with him or now his grandson. And let me tell you something, just so it's said, the reason I asked the question, and Casey, I'm going to bring you back in here in a minute. And Rob, if you have anything, just let me know. The reason I asked you the question of, does your son see your ex-boyfriend as a threat to your grandson? I asked you that specifically, and you said no. He's given no indication of that. So him keeping his son, your grandson, from you has nothing to do with protecting his son. That means your son is using a child as a pawn. There are a few things on my list in my work that I've been doing for, a few decades here. There are a few things on my list that top that when it comes to absolute fuckhead. Using a child as a pawn. Hell, if you look at my 2000 whatever videos on TikTok and Instagram and shit, if you look at those, at least a half to 2/3 or 3/4 are about people who were in some way or another used as a pawn as a child. And the damage that it does. And your son is doing that. Your son is using your grandson as a pawn. And so I have to ask you, I've given my opinion, so it's almost not safe for you to give yours if it differs from mine, but have some guts here. What do you think of the idea of your son using your grandson as a pawn?
I think it's awful. I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's fair to his son either, because I'm not a horrible person. So for him to be around me, even be around if I stayed with my boyfriend, wouldn't it be a bad thing?
That's right. And your son would have said so. If he's so concerned about his son, he would have said, I see your boyfriend, your ex-boyfriend, as a threat to my son. But he never said that.
No.
He never said that.
Right.
No, so it's not about the safety of the boyfriend. And as one aside question, did your ex-boyfriend ever try to control your son?
No, never. He's always been genuinely nice to my kids. And I mean, to the point where.
So he's controlling with you, but not with your kids?
No.
Okay. You said to the point where what?
I mean, he'll buy them things. I think he buys them, you know what I mean? But like my daughter loves it. Like she wants him to buy them all that stuff. And I don't like it because then I feel like it is buying them,
Okay. All right. KC and Rob, any comments here or questions you want to ask? KC.
I was astounded by your bravery, really, at the things that you just admitted about your own motherhood and self-image. I want to applaud you for being so brave and so emotionally honest. So you can add those to the list of things that you should love about yourself, because you just showed some real bravery in admitting that to us and to yourself and everything.
And Casey, any thoughts on this idea of standing up to a child, knowing the child's going to have a shit fit, and maybe cut you out of their lives, but the idea of that because what this child is doing to the grandchild is wrong, and also this 34-year-old adult child running everyone around him. Thoughts on that?
I mean, that's just wrong, and it does put you in a really hard spot, and I'm sorry for that. Like sometimes in parenting classes, like if you're getting a divorce or whatever, they really warn you about not using your children, in any kind of relationship, that's just so wrong. And I remember that I was doing that with my own kids in my divorce. And, you know, to just hear somebody say that sometimes is enough to wake people up. Like, do you realize that you're using your children to get at me, to get even with me or back at me? You know, sometimes people just need to be told that to realize what their actions are doing. Or like we said before, maybe go to counseling and lay all this stuff out for him. Just bring awareness to him. You know, you have to, at some point, you're still his mom, right? And so you're still raising him, right? We're raising our kids at any age. And so, you know, bringing his attention in a respectful way, I think, to the way that he's parenting and also the way that he's trying to control you helps him in his life.
But the thing, I'm going to tweak on what you said, and I like what you said, Casey, on this notion of we're always raising them. We're always influencing them. But it's very easy to say, well, we're always raising them, so I need to go take care of his dog, and I need to be at his beck and call, and I need to take care of him. Those days were done long time ago. And if he's big enough man to control everyone around him, then he's a big enough man to take care of his own fucking dog. Bottom line is this, though. This no confidence that you're struggling with and this feeling like I'm not happy is because you are terrified of asserting yourself because it comes at a price in relationships, in love, in friendships, and especially with our own children or parents. And it takes the willingness to stand up to the fear. Well, what's the fear? The fear that your son won't like you, the fear that your son will confront. He's not always right. And all you have to do is come back to the same thing. I'm not going to be controlled anymore. But see, the problem with that, though, is this goes back to your core beliefs. And your core beliefs that you were taught to believe about yourself is that you are not worth standing up for. You're not lovable the way you are. You are not enough. And those are what's eating you up from inside. And so this manifestation of the problem with your child is it's just a result of these core beliefs that you have been taught to believe a long time ago. And until you go into those, this isn't going to solve itself. But in the end, the only way your happiness begins to blossom, the only way this relationship has a shot of changing with your son is if you stand up and change it. Mm-hmm. Stand up and find your no, knowing well in advance he is, and calling out, you're leveraging your son. You are leveraging my grandson, your son. That is not good parenting. And somewhere in you, son, you know it's not. This is you throwing a hissy fit. But if you are not willing to stand up to your child, nothing's going to change. This shit doesn't magically heal itself. I like Casey's idea, doing it in counseling.
He would never go to counseling.
There you go.
He always tells me counseling's dumb.
Of course he does. Of course he does. He has the power the way it sits right now. Mm-hmm. And if you don't do what he says, he's going to continue to fuck with you. Mm-hmm. So you have a choice. The choice isn't about a boyfriend versus a grandson. The choice is really giving your life over to your son or reclaiming your life for yourself, knowing that the price of reclaiming your life is losing your son and losing your grandson. You have to assume that's the price. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, though. Let's just look at the fallout from that just for a minute here. The fallout of you doing that in all likelihood is, well, the question you have to ask is, who in all likelihood are your other two children more loyal to? See, right now, he's the king of the castle. The family myth exists to protect him. And anybody that steps out of line with that runs the risk of going against the king. And that comes with both wrath and rewards, that everybody presumably gets some reward out of it, even if it's just him not being mean or not being confrontational. So let me ask you, if you were to stand up to him, would you likely lose your other two children?
I don't think I would lose them, but I think things would be different because I feel like they would still have a relationship with him.
They probably would. But in the end, you have to ask yourself, when do I choose me? Because this is an adult. This isn't a child anymore. This is a 34-year-old man trying to control you. It is no different from a boyfriend trying to control you. Yep. It's just that in one, you are allowing it when you had all begun to stop. You stopped allowing it with your boyfriend, but you're continuing it here. And so I will ask one last time for you to stand up to your son. What is the single greatest fear in one sentence or less?
Ending the relationship, I think.
And what is the percent likelihood? And I'm not pushing you to take any action, but these are the stakes. If he's not going to therapy, and if he would likely get all bent out of shape and throw a hissy fit if you even tried to talk about it, either you continue to buy into what he wants for your life, and I want you to watch my dog, and I want you to wipe my butt, and I want you to take care of my kid, and I want you to change the oil on my car, and while you're at it, would you put in new disc brakes on my car, and I want you to never date anybody else because I want you at my beck and call. Okay. The choice is, do you continue to be his mommy, afraid of him, or do you choose you? That is fundamentally the choice you're confronted with. Yep. And that is an extraordinarily difficult question. But let me ask you, what percent, where you stand today, do you want to continue to be his puppet and controlled by him? And what percent do you want to have your own life, knowing the price that's involved in both?
I would say 75% I want to control my own life. I just have to have the courage to do it.
Right. And I got a little trick for you there, a little hack regarding that courage to do it. And if you said that you only got a little bit into my book, Hole in My Love Cup, you didn't get to this chapter yet. And there's a chapter called the Screw It Point, or what I call in my videos, the Fuck It Point. And that is, you don't have to get your courage up. You don't have to do anything. All you need to do is just keep living your life right now the way it is. Do you want to know why? Because we know that your pain has increased with regard to your relationship with your son from when he was 15 to when he was 20 to when he was 25 to 30 to now 34. He just keeps up in the ante. It keeps getting worse. Your pain is going to increase. And when the pain eventually gets so bad where you can't take even one more drop, that's the fuck it point. It's just like, fuck it. You know what? I don't even care anymore. You want to kick me out, kick me out. It's where all of a sudden, when the pain gets so bad, all of a sudden today, I have the courage that just yesterday I didn't have. I have the clarity of vision, of purpose that just yesterday I didn't have. And you're not at the fuck it point yet. I'm not saying it ain't bad, but you ain't at the fuck it point yet. So really, you don't even have to do anything. You don't even have to get your courage up. Pain will provide that, because your pain and you're seeing this situation now for what it really is fully and living it every day, basically, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but basically being his bitch. Mm-hmm. Your pain inside is only going to get worse, and it's going to reach a point where it's like, fuck it, I don't even care anymore. You want to treat your own mother this way? You want to treat your siblings this way? You want to use your son as a pawn? Dude, I'm out, because this is not the son I raised. I don't like this. I don't want this. But you're not there yet. Your pain hasn't gotten bad enough yet. And what's really working against you is how strong you are. You're so strong, you can take it, and you can take more. And you've been eating shit your whole life, not just from him, but obviously from men, at least one, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And your problem is not that, yeah, okay, fair. Your problem is not that you're weak. Your problem is that you're strong. And you can take it and take it and take it. But the difference when it comes to happiness, ultimately, the difference between happy people and unhappy people is how they define strength. Because unhappy people define strength as, I can take it. I can take it. I can handle more. No, I can take it. No big deal. I can take it. I can take it. Happy people define strength as, no, I'm not taking it anymore. Fuck that shit. Fuck you. Okay.
I'm getting to that pain
yes,
point.
You are. Yes, you are. Because I think somewhere in you knew if you came on this fucking show that we'd probably be going somewhere near this. So let me ask you, as sort of a closing question, what are you feeling? Where are you at? What's going on inside you? What are you feeling? Give me a feeling word.
Just sad.
Yeah. What's the saddest part from where you're sitting right now?
Just that I would have to end the relationship. I know it's probably something I need to do, but just sad thinking about it.
Yeah. And I'm going to give you a little coax here. Get a pad of paper and a pen. Get a pad of paper and a pen, and in your spare time, as much as you can, start journaling out all of your feelings. Even write your son a letter or 6 that you don't send. You don't have to send them. I don't want you to send them. The goal is just to get out all your feelings, all the loving feelings, and I miss you, and how did I fail, and but I didn't fail, but you're a fucker, and gosh, I'm a fucker. Every feeling that you have, everything, and I miss you, and God, you're a dick, son. How did you turn into such a dick? Or whatever your feelings are, your hatred, your anger, your sadness, your rage, your disappointment, your frustration, just flush it, flush it, flush it. Because what's clouding your vision right now is all those feelings inside. They get so jumbled up into this mangled, tangled mess. And you need to start flushing out. I recommend you get back into the book, but at the very, very least, write your son some letters that you don't send.
Okay.
Write your ex-boyfriend some letters that you don't send, obviously. Just tell him how much you miss him and how much he's a fucking dick for fucking whatever and everything. But journal, you have to be flushing this stuff out.
Okay.
Rob, any final thoughts?
Just people watching us record this live on YouTube are agreeing. Many have stood up to people that were controlling them, and they have lost people, and they are sad about it, but they are getting on with their life. And it's that, and it's also, it's never too late. There are people that are watching us here in their 60s, even 70. They're saying, you still got time. You can straighten this out. But I cannot minimize the pain that it must cause Annalisa to face this choice.
Yep. And so amid that sadness, we grieve the loss of your son, the loss of the boyfriend, the loss of your grandson, and you have to grieve. And the way we move forward is by allowing ourselves to grieve, to stop before we move forward and allow ourselves to grieve and all the sadness out. And like I said, journaling, letter writing, stuff like that is very helpful in that regard. Annalisa, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Such a hard equation to have to try to solve. And yet I feel like you really, you see things very clearly. You do. It's just some hard decisions that you're going to make, and you'll know. You will just know when the time is right. So thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate all your help.
You bet.
And come back and let us know how you're doing.
Okay.
You bet. All right. And so I think we all thank Annalisa for coming on the show, and I thank my team. KC, always with great insights, and Rob, additionally, as well. Same thing. To all of our listeners around the world, thank you so much for tuning in. Slay your demons. Have a kick-ass day.
The Badass Counseling Show is strictly copyrighted. No copies may be made without the express written consent of the Badass Counseling Show, LLC. The Badass Counseling Show is produced by Karen Camparelli and Robert H. Friedman. Executive producer Sven Erlandson. Original music by two-time Emmy Award-winning composer Trevor Morris. Have a kick-ass day.